What kind of trays do you need when you want to start growing microgreens? Welcome back for another video to Recalibrate with Nate, and thank you again for joining me for another video in this playlist series, which I will link in the description box below, the playlist for the entire series so you can watch each one of these videos, as well as the link to the plant-based bundle. The plant-based bundle is back and it's better than ever. Over 200 different products in this plant-based bundle, ranging from full courses all the way to training programs and meal plans, different cleanses. Everything's plant-based. Some amazing stuff in there, how to make delicious desserts. So I will link that in the description box below. Over 200 different products you're getting in this plant-based bundle, totaling nearly $9,000 if you were to buy everything individually, and you're getting it all for $50. $50 for all of this stuff. I've got my full Microgreens course in there showing you how to set your grow room up, all the ins and outs of growing microgreens, trays, everything in detail, as well as how to start sprouting and how to ferment vegetables and the importance of these sorts of foods. Links to all of the different kinds of tools that we use in that particular course. I sell that course for $77. That is in the plant-based bundle. You're getting my Dude Food book, which is priced out at $22. Full meal plan showing you different recipes, delicious raw vegan recipes, as well as like how to make sauerkraut and kimchi in that book, as well as a brownie recipe, even a raw vegan brownie recipe. I also have my Alive book in there, basically going over, covering the benefits and the power of sprouts and microgreens and why we would even want to start incorporating more of these living foods into our day-to-day life. Lissa, my wife, also has 5 of her ebooks in this particular bundle. So there's 8 products of ours that we have in this bundle, and that totals over $200 if you were to, even use our code to buy these particular products. It's going to be so much cheaper just getting the bundle. $50, you're getting all of this stuff for almost next to nothing. I mean, it is just amazing deal, incredible deal. We're also running 60% off all of our ebooks and courses for the Black Friday and the Boxing Day special. I'll put those links in the description box below as well. So let's get into this video. So you want to get growing microgreens and you're wondering, what kind of trays do I even need? What do I use to even start growing microgreens? There's all sorts of different trays, different sizes, there's different brands. So let's dig into this. I'm going to do my best to try to describe to you the different trays that I've used in the past and what has worked out really well. So let's start off in the beginning. The very first stuff that you could use. Cheap, right? Just recycled containers. When I first started growing microgreens, I was just using recycled containers. Like I think we got some mango salsa in this one. This one here was some pineapple mango salsa. So just little different salsas, right? And they fit together. And you want to have the thing with the microgreen tray, kind of like growing a plant. You have your one container that holds the soil and the plant, and it's got some holes in the bottom so it can drain some water, as well as the roots maybe can go through those holes. But you want to have something to catch the water because you don't want the water all over your windowsill or your floor, right? So you have maybe a decorative pot that you'd put it in. Well, microgreens, we have what we call the top tray, which holds the soil and the seed and is growing the microgreens out of, and that top tray has the holes in it. So this particular container, all I did was just poke some holes in it. If you can see here, I just, it's not real nice or anything. I just poked a bunch of holes in this particular container, and this container has no holes. So it works out really nice when you put those together. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? There's a little bit of a gap there that leaves enough space for the water and the roots to kind of reach down and get the water. So you've got your top tray and your bottom tray. And after the germination phase, you're going to be doing what's called bottom watering, and you're not going to be spraying water on top of the seed anymore. You're going to start putting water in the bottom tray. So that's where it's nice to have 2 trays. Really, it's the only way to go. So recycled containers, right? Look at this container here. These here, we bought some cherry tomatoes in. This also was some cherry tomatoes. This particular container has the holes in the bottom. See if, you can kind of see with the reflection there. It's got a couple slits in the bottom already. This one doesn't have any holes, and it worked perfect. Just set in right just like that. And actually, I did grow some broccoli in this particular container. This tray of broccoli came right out of this container. Isn't that cute? Real nice. Now, I love this, but look at this. The way that we like to eat microgreens, this would basically be enough just for me, one salad. And so the more we started to ingest these microgreens and the more we started to kind of crave different microgreens, we ended up kind of running out of space to grow them in. And we had these little containers all over our windowsills and kind of all over the place. So we wanted to up our game and invest in an infrastructure. So we built this tower, which I'll get into the nitty-gritty of this tower in another video. So stay tuned for that in the playlist. This particular video, I wanted to just talk about the trays. But you see here, this little bit of microgreens came right out of this very container. I just actually pulled it out to take some pictures just yesterday. So you see, you don't really need anything special. You can grow in recycled containers. Let me pull these little ones off the tray here. Look at there. I cut these containers down. There's 2 containers. This is from some mushrooms. You know when you buy mushrooms in the store, they come in a container? I cut it down so it's not as tall because you don't need very much soil, which we'll get into the soil in another video, but you don't need much soil for growing microgreens. And this particular tray right here, the top tray, this is a recycled date container. You know, you buy dates, we eat a lot of dates, high in fiber, super delicious, naturally sweet. We use a lot of dates in our recipes, and so we buy a lot of dates. And this container actually just fits so perfectly down in there. All I did was just poke some holes in the date container and it works perfect. Look at this cute little thing. But then again, this is a great way to start off. Absolutely amazing way to start off growing microgreens, but there's not very many. Like this would last me and Lissa one day, and it would take about 10 days to get this to be harvested, 8 to maybe 12 days at most from seed to harvest, right? So we wanted to kind of grow more. So that's where we started to invest on some bigger trays. But I'm just trying to show you the best trays to get going are recycled containers because you're not having much money invested in on any infrastructure. You're just spending a little bit of money on some seed and some soil, and there you go. You can get started just using some recycled containers. Here's another recycled container. This is a little mushroom container, tomato container, just fits right in. Look at that, perfect. We've grown in this one too. Now here we have, this is like something you could get at your hardware store or the nursery. And this actually was a little grow kit. We've got the bottom tray, no holes, and the top trays, which you can see have the slits. Now, these work great, and you can grow, you know, a few different crops, a few different varieties at one time. What I didn't like about these though is they're kind of sharp edges and they're pretty flimsy. So they work just fine. You could probably pick this something like this up for maybe $2 or $3, right? So this is a great way to go in a lot of ways, but I wasn't really enjoying cleaning these because you have to wash your trays after you grow, and I didn't really like how deep they were because you only really need about an inch deep tray for microgreens. We're not growing vegetables or starters, you know, like lettuce starts and different things to put into our garden. We don't need a 2-inch deep tray. Microgreens, you only need a little shallow tray. So, but this is another container that is fairly inexpensive that you could get right at your, like I said, your hardware store or your nursery. So we've got those. Let me put these little broccoli back up here. And let's talk about these little guys. These are some sprouting trays. These are meant for sprouting seeds. And I do love these, right? So they've got the top tray, which has the mesh, and the bottom tray that has no holes, right? So you got the holes, no holes, see? And you can just put your grow medium, your soil in there, and look at how deep it is. Let me see if I can get it to not reflect. It's not very deep, right? You see that? It's like very, very shallow, maybe a 1/2 inch deep. So this is a very nice tray to grow in, and these are fairly inexpensive. You can get a pack of like 10 of them or more. I'll link those in the description box below, as well as all of these particular trays I'm going to show you, the quality trays, I have linked in my Microgreen course. Every single video has a PDF linked with everything that we use, which I personally like that. When you see something you like, you're like, that's gonna work perfect. It's nice just to have a one button click to be able to get to that particular product. So we do have affiliate with Amazon on these. So when you do purchase, or if you do purchase through my link, I do make a little percentage on that. So, but that's pretty cool, right? These are some nice little trays. Now this tray here is just the next size up, another sprouting tray. And I love growing in this. This is a really nice size. for certain seeds or certain crops, I should say, I really like using this size. This is kind of like a, I think it may be like a 9 by 11 or something rather. It's kind of similar to the 10 by 10. You see here, this is the 10 by 10. So this here, these sprouting trays are great, fairly inexpensive, and they work out just beautifully. I do really enjoy using these. Now the gap between the two trays is about a 1/2 inch gap. So you may need to add a little bit more water when you're watering in the bottom tray when they're out of germination, you know, which we'll get into in another video how that works. You have to actually use a little bit more water because of that gap between the top tray and the bottom tray in these particular trays. But these are also great and fairly inexpensive. So let's get into some more of the quality trays. These are what the big boys use right here. Professional gardeners or professional microgreen growers, they use these trays. There's a couple different companies out there, but one company that is really one of the best companies in my particular opinion is Bootstrap Farmer. Bootstrap Farmer trays are quality trays. The plastic is it's just a well composite. It's easy to clean, and I love how they're integrated where they fit so nicely together, the top tray and the bottom tray, leaving a very small gap in between the two. So really, you can actually only use a 1/2 cup of water to 1 cup of water to do your watering for the morning watering, right? So something like this, the 10 by 10 tray, I only use a 1/2 cup of water, and it's plenty enough of water for the microgreens to get what they need for the morning. And then I give it another 1/2 cup later in the evening. So a 10 by 10 tray is a great way to go, and it's very efficient for the water that you have to actually use. So these trays here, I'll link these below as well, and I do need to upgrade my microgreen course to put the links for these guys as well, because we are just now becoming affiliates with these guys, Bootstrap Farmer. So when you do purchase through Bootstrap Farmer, we do get a little kickback there as well. But these are quality trays. These trays are very strong plastic, and they will last a lifetime. If you take care of these trays, they will last a lifetime. Another thing I really love about them is the colors. They do have different colors that you can choose from, or packages, variety packs of colors, which is pretty cool. So let's get into the bigger tray, and this is the tray that we use the most, and this is what I'm showing you how to grow in my course. So, you know, this is really, the thing is to eat more of these microgreens. That's the whole purpose of the course, is to explain to you and get you excited why you'd even want to grow microgreens and how to grow them, and of course how to eat them. You can eat them in so many different things. You can put them on anything. They make all meals look gourmet. Just a sprinkle of microgreens on top, it makes it look like it's gourmet, right? But this is your standard style, a 10 by 20 tray. You can see it's 1/2 of the 10 by 10. This is a great tray to use. Now there's different top trays that they have here. This one has the mesh. You can see it's kind of a mesh there. Bottom tray has no holes. Works perfect. I have really good luck growing the red garnet amaranth in this mesh tray bottom. It is absolutely wonderful how they turn out, as opposed to if I grow the amaranth in this particular standard style top tray. The top tray of this one here, you can see just has those kinds of slits, right? It's not the mesh style. Bottom tray, no holes, they fit in real nicely together. So, but these here are kind of your industry standard for microgreens farming. People who are growing a good amount to grow to the grocery stores or to the farmers markets, they're going to be using these 10 by 20 trays. And like I said, the way that we like to eat living foods and raw foods, we wanted to go big. So we started to basically use the 10 to 20 trays for everything, which works out amazing. They also have, the Bootstrap Farmer also has, say like this is a bottom tray, no holes. They've got these little guys right here, which are pretty cool. And I'll show you here. They have the mesh bottom. See that? A mesh bottom. And what's cool about these ones, let me stack these in here. You can stack these in to where you can grow 8 different varieties in one 10 by 20. That's pretty cool, right? So maybe you buy some small sample packs of seeds and you just want to give them a try. You can try out a couple different sample packs in these particular smaller trays to see if you want to invest on a bigger bag of that particular seed and go big and grow into a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 20. So also really cool. And again, quality plastic, very, very sturdy. That's what I love about it, because really, living foods, microgreens, sprouted foods, fermented foods, all of these kinds of foods are an investment within our health, within our good gut health, and why not invest into some quality equipment to where it will last us for years. You buy it once, right? The saying goes, buy once, cry once, right? Sometimes it can be a little spendier when you do invest on a tray that is a little bit more quality, because these are like a few dollars each, right? I think maybe anywhere from, I don't know the price offhand, but you know, they're anywhere from maybe $3 to $5 a piece, right? But you're only buying it one time, super quality. So those are the different trays that you can use to start off growing microgreens. And like I said, if you're just getting into this, man, just use some recycled containers. You don't have to buy any fancy kinds of trays or anything like that, because you know, you can just get into it. Maybe it's something that you like, maybe it's something you want to continue doing. You don't need lights or a rack or anything. You can just stick this on your windowsill and just grow a couple, you know, little strains for yourself just to get going. This is a great way to get going. So that's it for this video covering the trays. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to check out the plant-based bundle. I'll click those links down below, as well as the link to the entire playlist and the links for the trays, as well as our books, 60% off our books. But be sure to check out that plant-based bundle. Oh my gosh, you do not want to miss this. Nearly $9,000. I cannot believe how packed this one is. Nearly $9,000. It's over $8,800 worth of products for $50. You cannot go wrong. Amazing deal. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one. Love you.